What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. Hey, is that Batman?
That's Batman.
That's Batman. Well, we'll talk about Batman here in a little bit. We'll talk about DC here in a little bit. There's some fun DC related things happening. But yeah, today it's just Luke and I on the couch. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a little sleepy.
Well, you can lay down and take a nap. That's what
No. We got a podcast.
we got a podcast to do. You're right.
I'll
My
probably
bad.
wake up. I don't know what direction I'm going to go in. If I'm going to go with spicy takes or based takes. We're going to find out.
All right,
It'll be an interesting day.
Sounds good.
Tyler isn't here to calm me down.
Oh, and I'm just gonna stir the pot.
So, oh boy. Maybe I should lean more based then.
No, it'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong?
A lot.
That's fair.
Something always goes wrong when it's just
Just the two of us, or just two of us in general. Okay, well, before we get into some of our reviews and some news, what kind of movie, TV, game trailers outside of Nintendo Direct do we have to talk about today?
We got another Penguin teaser trailer. It's actually labeled Official Teaser 2, which I think is hilarious.
Official Teaser 2.
I think they also revealed when it's coming out. I don't remember when, though. So now I'll look it up. This show looks awesome, though.
Absolutely. This is the what I would have expected from like an HBO level superhero show. I think for a long time we had things like the CW shows, and we've had Marvel stuff on Disney Plus, and those have their own
Style?
bar,
Quality-
right? Quality
quality bar.
bar. And I think when I hear Matt Reeves, it's a Batman in the universe of the Batman, starring these Academy Award winning or nominated actors.
Dude, we gotta get Colin to win.
We do gotta get Colin win. It raises that bar up, and right now, super hyped for this.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It does feel like it's kind of setting a new bar of superhero. I mean, I feel like DC has had a pretty high bar. They also have a very low bar. Let's not gloss over that. There's been a lot of garbage from the DC side, but like just recently we've had Peacemaker, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously there was Lindelof's Watchmen show, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
But this is so much more traditional characters.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Like, it's in the Batman universe. I know we had Gotham already, but this trailer was better than all of Gotham already. That show had such a great pilot, and then it just fell off the deep end, in my opinion. It was so weird. But, yeah, this show is looking great. I'll never get over the fact that that's Colin Farrell with all that makeup on.
Dude, it looks so good.
If he didn't have
it looks so gross, but also so good.
If he didn't have those eyebrows, I don't think I would recognize him.
Yeah.
But I have to look at his eyebrows to be like, yes, that's Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
September
Yep.
is when it releases.
Not that far away?
That's a lot sooner than, like, it seems. Like, in my head, it's like, oh, yeah, it's summer or whatever. September is still summer.
Yeah, technically, right?
For a bit.
It's crazy.
For 3 weeks. But yeah, this is looking really, 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 really good.
Agreed.
And the cast is awesome too. I said this in our little group chat, and I don't know if it will happen. I'm leaning towards it won't happen because it'd probably be expensive. But I still am just hoping that there's an episode where there's some like drug deal or
Mm-hmm.
criminal activity going down in the Narrows or something. It's like, oh yeah, we got to do this deal. So, oh, what's going on? Where'd Jeff go?
Yeah.
And then just like almost like kind of reminiscent of Batman Begins and Matt Reeves' The Batman, where just Batman's there,
Yeah.
and you have no idea where he's at.
It
Like,
would be super fascinating to see that from the other. We're used to seeing it from Batman's vantage.
you see
but
the stalker, but like let's get the prey perspective.
Yeah.
Like, and then just you don't even ever have to show him.
Yeah.
Just like we
You
all
don't have to bring Robert Pattinson in.
We
just
got-
have their stunt actors do their thing.
yeah.
Be that version of the Batman. Pop in, pop out. You barely see him, and then he's gone.
If they all get caught,
But you feel the effect of it. Yeah.
cops show up and get him.
Yeah.
Penguin can get away if he needs to.
Right.
He's the main character or whatever. But it'd be so cool. It'd be a dream come true. That'd be so awesome. But yeah, can't wait for the show. We got another Batman teaser. This is like on the opposite side though. This is for the Batman Caped Crusader animated show. That's going to Prime. That still feels weird. For some
Yeah.
reason, HBO was like, no. We have
Wait.
enough Batman.
Which
I
is
imagine-
insane.
I imagine Amazon paid a pretty good price for it though.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty simple trailer. They kind of show off some of the city background animation that will
Mhm.
happen, and it's just a list of all the voice cast, and it's stacked, man. And the big reveals at the end that what's his name?
Hamish Linkler.
Hamish Linklater.
Linklater. Yeah.
Linklater. Who I know mainly as the priest in Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the voice of Batman, and dude, I'm really excited for this show too. And it's 40s aesthetic is super cool. It's gonna be a lot different than a lot of things that we've gotten before, so I'm very, very excited for that too.
Yeah, this was a cool little tease. I'm excited to see a trailer and see really that aesthetic in motion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a good little tease.
Yep.
And yeah, like you said, stack cast.
It
McKenna
is-
Grace is in there. Minnie Driver,
Dietrich
John
Bader.
DiMaggio, Dietrich Bader. Yeah,
He was a
and
voice
he's played Batman,
of Batman
before.
Before, yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm sleepy and I'm getting ready for bed, I'll throw on Batman Brave and the Bold, and he's the voice in that. That is a very different show. It's a lot of fun though. And then if we're missing a trailer, please let us know. I only have one movie trailer, and it came out today. That's Nosferatu.
Yeah, this looks like a bloody good time.
You know what? I'm the vampire hater. I'm the zombie hater. All those classic monsters that nobody can get right. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm on board with this one.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
It's Eggers. He's good at what he's doing. I've seen 2 of his movies, and they're both awesome. But that being said, if you saw this and you didn't go see The Northman, it's like, come on, man. You have to watch. I feel like you just have to watch it first. Be like, you like to pay your dues.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't support him the first time, or the second time, or the third time. So you can't see this until you see the other stuff. But I should watch The Witch. I need to get on that.
I'm very curious to see. This feels like a culmination of what and obviously it's a trailer, so we're only seeing clips or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see, how some of those longer takes from the Northman, if he incorporates some of that slower, more, I don't know, grindy pace.
I'd put big money on that.
Yeah. But
Because I feel like even The Lighthouse had that.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's parts of the Northman, specifically the stuff with Willem Dafoe, who is also in this one, where it's chaotic and almost animalistic or spiritualistic, and this feels like it's way more interested in talking about Nosferatu, aka the vampire, Dracula.
Spoiler. No.
Oh, my bad. As that, like, almost a spiritual force. It feels more like almost a possession movie, from some of the choices that they used in the trailer.
Yep.
I could be way off on that, and it may just be a buzzy trailer to be a buzzy trailer.
Yep.
But yeah, super excited and ready to be scared.
Whoever whoever his cinematographer is, I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just doesn't, like, the lighthouse and the Northmen were just so gorgeous to look at the entire time.
Yep.
So maybe that's what convinced me. It's just like, man, this just looks so pretty. Because it, like, I feel like a lot of vampire and, like, classic monster movies, they don't typically look like this, unless they're the really old ones. But it's kind of harkening back to that as well.
Yeah,
like old school.
It feels old school with modern sensibilities. Yeah, which is great.
Which isn't new for him either. He made a 4x3 black and white.
Yeah.
1940 looking thing.
He's one of those really interesting directors who dives into not just like a complete fascination in history with whatever he's writing and directing about, like, the story. Like, there's the whole thing with the Northmen, like he really got into that mythology and shipbuilding and understanding what it meant to live in that time. But I feel like he's similarly with film and technique. He's constantly looking at, how do I make this movie feel, a certain way. So my guess is, yeah, he's going back to those, early 1900s films and looking at how did they create these kinds of shadow. Oh, that's a really basic thing that most cinematographers and lighting people would know, right? But, like, really diving into, okay, how do I make this with using today's equipment with the image quality that we have, because you can't do some of that stuff the exact same way. You can't shine those lights and have it capture on a digital, and I'm assuming he's on digital and not film, but you're right, like, it captures differently on a digital sensor than it would on film. So,
and plus, even if it is film, it's not a
yeah. It's a different kind of. It's obviously a more modern film, and they're capturing at higher resolutions, which means your makeup has to be different. So, all of those things together, he just seems like the kind of director who really enjoys digging into that kind of stuff.
It's probably the director that'd be like, you know what? Can you just give me a camera for 1910?
Yeah, he probably
let's
would.
Just film it on that.
Can we just ADR everything. It'll be fine.
I'm really curious what Nosferatu will look like too.
Yep, they do a good job of not showing.
Obviously, like, you see the image. I see the image all the time on Twitter of him, because usually it's used comically.
Yeah.
But, like, how will it compare to that?
Yeah,
even that, like, super old version of the character still looks super creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. We get some, like, kind of like bare
veiled
shadows and like someone who's maybe either naked or at least doesn't have a top, like, but like we see like their shoulder, like it's Skarsgård, right? So it's like that, like, gangly shoulder.
Which
work.
Skarsgård?
And it's Bill, isn't it?
The It Clown.
Yeah,
that's Bill. Bill, the gangly clown.
I'm like 90. Yeah, he's gonna pull that off. He's gonna look so creepy.
And the next one, which Skarsgård is he working with?
He has, yeah. He's
one Skarsgård per movie.
Jumping around. I love it. Whichever one he hasn't worked with yet, I don't know.
Yeah. But hey, he convinced me, the vampire complainer, to be interested in his movie. So
love it. Love to see it. All right, well, real quick, we don't have like a big main topic, but Luke and I both watched something this week, so we can kind of give some quick reviews before we jump into news. I'll real quick talk about Inside Out 2. Huge movie. apparently saving the box office this year, according to the internet.
Until the next movie comes out and saves the box office.
But yeah, yeah.
Because that's the trend. It's
And
like,
then
oh,
something
this movie made
and then
money?
something will bomb and will doom the box office. And then,
No, Furiosa already bombed. Because for some reason people didn't want to see a great action movie. God, I can't. I don't understand. I see every day the box office numbers for Furiosa on Twitter because somebody posted it. I'm just like, what did everybody have a problem with this movie about? Why didn't we see it? It was so good.
I'm sorry, Luke.
I need to watch it again. I need to watch that and Dune 2 again because obviously I'm kind of conflicted on what my number one movie is.
I do need to see Dune 2 again. I haven't watched it yet. But anyways, Inside Out 2. This is Pixar's first sequel in a while. I say that.
Let's just say this is their first movie in theaters.
In a while. Yeah. And the big obvious thing is you should send Pixar movies to theaters because they actually make money.
You should just send movies to theaters.
You should.
They make
You should.
Money. You can still put it on your streamer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, this is like 8 years after 7 years, 5, 6. I don't know. Riley's 13. She hits puberty and has to deal with a bunch of new emotions and friends and what is growing up and dealing with that stuff like. It is incredibly well done. I think it's right up there next to the original Inside Out. My biggest complaints, if you can call them that, would be that the stuff that's happening to Joy and kind of the older emotion, the original emotions from the first film, it feels their journey feels very similar to Inside Out 1. It's like Joy thinks she's in control, and she's accepted that that means everyone on the team gets to be a part of Riley's life. New emotions come up. She doesn't know how to handle that. They have to go to the back of the mind, or they get sent to the back of the mind, and they have to do a little mission to get back, right? And they learn things along the way.
Have to find an imaginary friend.
They find an imaginary friend.
It's the video game Crush character.
That one is in there. The big one is not. It's Pouchy.
Oh, so it's an actual imaginary friend again?
There's a new
Bing Bong?
No, it's similar to it's from a show. It's not a real show, a show in that universe.
Paw Patrol version of their universe?
Well, it's like the Dora the Explorer. It's it's like the map or the backpack or something, right? It's the talk to the audience kind of a thing. So this character is just randomly talking to no one. But sometimes they'll put the camera so it's actually talking to the movie theater audience, which is really funny.
That's great.
Super fun. Really well written. Voice acting was excellent. They didn't bring back Bill Hader or Mindy Kaling, which I don't know why.
Money.
Look, I mean, sure, but also surely you knew this movie was gonna make enough money to pay them. I don't think that they are, to an average audience member, I wouldn't say that the new voice casts there are so different that it's noticeable. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of one of those weird, it would have been cool if the whole original squad was back. But it's fine. They got Joy and Sadness back, so.
Those are Joy mainly is probably the
most Amy Poehler is the most important one to have there. New emotion, the big one is obviously anxiety. That's the one featured in all of the trailers. There are a couple other ones, boredom, embarrassment, and envy. They all have minor but pretty good roles.
That's not an emotion. That's a deadly sin. What's in the box? My emotions. That's what's in the box.
What's in the box? I do like the change of pace in Riley's story this time. I think it's kind of the first one, was all about her feeling uncomfortable in a new place, not feeling like she's being heard, that like desire to like run away and like get back to what she knows. And this is way more personal. It's about her and her two best friends, and they're going to high school next year, but something's gonna be different. And part of what anxiety's role in the mind is to maybe like think about like it's okay to worry about things a little bit, right? But when that's all you're doing, that's not healthy, and obviously it can take over your mind. It's a really beautiful film. It does a really good job of going into expanding the mind beyond just memories and memory making, but like they talk about how we form core beliefs, and these beliefs become who we are, and what happens when your core beliefs are completely removed, and all of a sudden this anxiety is making new core beliefs for you. Really, really fascinating. I loved it a lot. Teared up a couple times.
Classic Pixar, man.
Claire really enjoyed it.
Did you kind of understand what was going on?
We didn't have a real deep conversation afterwards about it. We kind of talked about, what were your favorite parts. So I think it was still approachable enough for her. But she is at that age now where she's making, friends that are not just, hey, I, met someone new at preschool. Like she's developing friends who, stay with her year to year through school and things like that. So I think there's part of that is, transferable even to a 8-9-year-old. But it's still very, very easily digestible for someone that age. So, I gave it a solid fanboy worthy. Really, really good. Definitely recommend it.
Solid.
Salad.
Awesome. I can't wait to watch it. I don't know when I'll get out to see it. I might just have to wait for it on Disney Plus. It depends how long it's actually in theaters.
Yeah.
Which is, unfortunately, a conversation. Like, now it's this movie's in theater for a week. This one's in theaters for
right. I think this will have legs over the summer.
Yeah.
It's done real. It only had a 35% drop to its second weekend, which is
crazy good,
phenomenally good.
Man.
So it had a great first weekend. It had really good word of mouth, and a lot of people got out. It is kind of hitting all of the right things as we move into, here in America at least, the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
And, school's out for
summer.
But yeah, I could see it coming probably into theaters around the time school starts.
My God, the kids are going back to school. Take it out.
Get it out of there.
That's when I'll go see it. These kids won't be there yapping the whole time.
We had a very good audience. There were some it was mostly parents and younger kids, and they were having fun. But not being annoying, so that was good.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're having fun. Just don't be annoying.
Fair enough. Well, Luke, you also saw a movie this week.
I did. I wasn't doing much on Sunday, and so I was like, I should watch something. I remember the movie Hitman had come out.
Glenn Powell?
Yes. Several weeks ago. I know people talked about it, and they're like, hey, this is good, this is fun, it's funny. I was like, okay, I'll watch this. Wasn't really expecting much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of something to do. It was a lazy Sunday. It was a lot better than I thought.
Nice.
It's about time Netflix had a hit, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so if you don't know what this is a movie that is somewhat based on a true story,
Oh.
which I didn't know. And they say that at the beginning, and it's pretty funny. They're like, some of this is based on a true story. We obviously changed stuff. And
at least they're being upfront about
it's
it.
really funny because at the end of the movie, they're like, this was fake. Which was great. It is really funny. There was a lot of funny moments throughout that were making me laugh. I understand the Glenn Powell hype, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He was great in this. I didn't see Anyone But You. Didn't really care about it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Obviously, he was great in Top Gun, but he's in that movie for 10 minutes, and he's the bully. He's the Iceman character. So I'm pretty sure this was my first experience with him as the lead, and I thought he was great. And he plays a lot of characters. The character is so interesting because this is a real person. And in the movie, he's a psychology and philosophy teacher at a college.
Oh.
And in his spare time, as a second job, he works for the police in catching people undercover who are trying to hire hitmen.
Huh.
And like the whole reason he gets the job is because the guy who usually goes undercover gets in trouble because he's like a dirty cop or something, and so he gets suspended. So they're like, "Hey, you're up."
Okay.
But that like led to me going like, "Okay, well, this is a true story, but this dude is good at everything." So like throughout the movie, I was like arguing with myself the whole Mary Sue conflict that goes in mainly superhero movies.
Yeah.
Or I should say, nerd movies. It's typically Star Wars. But I was like, this is a Mary Sue character, and how come nobody has a problem when it's a white man? Like, what's going on? Anyway, but no, it's a lot of fun. The other lead in this is, let me get her name, Adria Arjona. I probably said it wrong. Famously in Morbius.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not the famously. She's in Andor.
Sure, but I recognize her from
yeah.
Morbius. Yeah.
I feel like more people would recognize her from Morbius. It's unfortunate because she was not good in that movie. Nobody was good in that movie. Nobody had a chance of being good in that movie. She is great in Andor, and she is great in this. So I'm glad she just doesn't have Morbius as her, like, what's IMDb? They're right here.
Known for whatever.
Yeah, they're known for.
Yeah.
It's like, what are they known for? Morbius. Oh gosh, this ain't good. But no, she's great. They have great chemistry. They're a lot of fun together. They're very funny. I'd say a very, very fun part of this movie, while it's not a huge part of the movie, is the costumes and characters that Glenn Powell's character plays. Because he kind of he gets into it, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna make this person. Who would they be wanting to meet? Who do they expect their hitman to be? So he like dyes his teeth and puts on a wig, and he's like this country trash bullet wearing weird person, and or he's like a Russian, like typical hitman you would like see in a movie, or some weird. There was one where I was like, I don't know what this is, like some German dude. But he makes all these little alter egos that he goes out and meets the people as, and like he's still playing his character, but his character is playing somebody else. So I thought it was a really well done performance.
Nice.
But yeah. Let's see what else happened in this movie. Something that just I realized when it ended. So the main character's name is Gary. And one of his alter egos, kind of the one you spend the most time with, his name is Ron. Which are two characters in Parks and Rec.
Oh.
In Parks and Rec, everybody loves Ron.
Yeah.
Ron is like one of the best characters in the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Gary, Gary Gergich, everybody hates him. You know what? And it's the same in the movie. Ron is super cool. Gary's a dork.
Yeah.
And the best part is Retta is in the show, who plays Donna in Parks and
Oh
Rec.
my gosh.
So like I ended it, and I was like, is this just like a Parks and Rec rip or like spinoff?
Yeah.
And so like it like made it better in my mind because I just thought that was funny.
Just a little get together.
It's like, oh, this is just in New Orleans, but it's in the same universe as Parks and Rec, where people are kind of weird. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's funny. It's R-rated, if that's important to you. There is quite a bit of language. There's some sex scenes. Ooh. But it was a lot of fun. I would give it a fanboy worthy.
Nice.
It was a lot better than I was expecting. And I feel like that's just with Netflix. I'm like, oh yeah, people are saying they like it, but like, how good is it really?
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is good. It's fun.
Stephanie watched it and liked it and told me, hey, if you want to watch it, I'll watch it again. So
I think you'd like it.
yeah.
It's pretty unique too, just in like its story. Like the fact that it's a true story is crazy, and obviously they do change stuff.
Right. Over in the chat, Baroque says, I thought Glenn was really good in Devotion, the Korean War movie about the first black Navy pilot. That was, I remember
That's right.
wanting to go see that movie and not, for whatever reason. I don't know, was that around the same time that Jonathan Majors was going through the first bout of...
It may have just been summer movie season and just no time to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Glenn is a great actor. I think he's kind of said that he's gonna slow down and maybe just take the roles he really wants. He's definitely in that place where he could get almost any role he wants.
He's John Glenn in Hidden Figures.
Yeah, what do you know?
You always find the movies that they were like barely in.
Right.
What has he got in upcoming? Oh yeah, he's in Twisters.
Twisters this summer. That's right.
That movie's gonna be garbage, and I'm very excited. Oh, he's Chad Powers in the Chad Powers movie. Okay.
Oh.
Monsanto.
That's a movie about a.
About a Monsanto.
Monsanto is a
person,
corporation.
Oh,
mega corporation.
It's just gonna go through all the nouns.
Agriculture. So they're known mostly for their.
Why not just click the link? A young man hatches a murderous plot to inherit his family's wealth. Ooh, that actually sounds pretty.
Oh, that's
fun.
Huntington.
Oh,
Huntington.
That one sounds fun. Murder. Ironically, that's kind of what Hitman's about.
So this is for Monsanto.
Young attorney Brent Wisner.
Dang it! I thought it was gonna be me.
I was just thinking of you. Takes on a case against Monsanto on behalf of groundskeeper Dwayne Lee Johnson. They had to put the Lee in there because if it was Dwayne Johnson, everybody'd be like, huh?
The Rock.
Who used the company's weed killer Roundup and developed cancer. Is this the movie we saw with the Teflon?
Yeah.
Is it that story?
No. Different. Oh. That was DuPont. Different American conglomerate who does not care about the health effects of the chemicals they're putting in their products. Classic American story.
Who would have thought?
It's an American tale as old as time. Over in the chat, Baroque says, so will Twisters or Borderlands be worse?
Borderlands, 100%. Because that movie doesn't look fun. Twisters at least looks fun, in my opinion.
No, I think I get on with it. I think Borderlands should look more fun, but somehow it doesn't. Like, you have all these fun colors and
the
fun character actors, and
Borderlands looks like it's just ripping off of other things.
Yeah.
Whereas Twisters is just like, let's just make a legacy sequel.
Yeah.
And throw these people under a turnpike, even though we all know.
You shouldn't do it.
You know what I'm excited for, though?
What?
For Twisters? And I'm going to say this in my review. Unless they just haven't shown it in the trailers. But they're like at a rodeo, and a tornado shows up, and they're like, what? What? How? As somebody that lives right in the middle of Tornado Alley, and I know we have the Wichita bubble, so we don't really get hit by it.
We get.
But we know in Wichita what is going on out in western Kansas. They always tell you what's going on everywhere.
Yeah.
If you're watching TV.
Yeah.
And everybody has cell phones.
My
You're gonna know you're in a tornado warning. That rodeo wouldn't happen.
my hypothesis is that because of the nanobots that they release into the tornado,
The naders get worse.
yeah, they get worse. They
Oh
become
my-
more unpredictable. It's a compounding of climate change plus man-made technology that just makes them spurt up like geysers from the ground.
Twisters. The Geostorm. The new empire.
I just love that we're getting a scene where it goes through like a oil refinery or whatever, and we're gonna get like a fire tornado, even if it's just for a minute. Fire tornadoes are the best.
Have you seen one in real life?
No, but Prince of Egypt had one, so
Yeah, that was created by God.
yeah, it was amazing. I'm not saying this one can really compete.
God
I'm
is
saying
really good at creating
it's
stuff.
better than nothing. Roided out naders. Yes.
Naders.
We're getting some roided out naders and twisters.
Naders be juicing.
For sure. All right. Should we talk about some news?
We should.
Let's see. I'm making my time code here. 36 minutes. All right, perfect.
Ooh, doing work.
Doing the Lord's work. We had a Nintendo Direct this week.
We did.
Man, I do love
This is the best Nintendo Direct I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie.
I love this part of summer
That's not true.
because we get an, like, even though E3 is not a thing anymore, we still get all these announcements from the gaming companies.
They just need to put them all in 1 week.
Yeah,
like,
but that would be
condense.
nice. That would be
PlayStation
convenient.
was like, no, we're gonna go a week early, and it was garbage. And then Nintendo's like, we're gonna do it a week late, and it was good. It's like, if we put those all in 1 week,
Yeah,
those
then
would balance each other out.
They don't get the media attention that they want.
I guarantee you they would.
They gotta compete.
Nintendo always wins these.
Well, yeah,
arguments.
no one wants to compete. Anyways, what are some of your highlights? You watched this. I caught the Cliff Notes, so you can tell me what. I saw a few things.
I'm not gonna mention everything.
No.
Because
Not
like,
everything's worth mentioning. But if you saw
there's-
something,
man,
and you want us to talk about it,
there's
put it in the chat.
so many games on Nintendo where it's like, yep, that's not for me.
Yeah.
That's not for me. That's not for me. Even like games that I think look cool.
Mhm.
And I'll just start with this one. Legend of Zelda Echoes of... I didn't write down the whole title.
Oh.
Echoes of Wisdom.
Wisdom. That's
Thankfully, I already had the article pulled up. There are some things in that game that I think are so cool.
Mhm.
Like the way combat works, where it's like, I can just copy and paste anything. Which is like reminds me of Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you can build all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And this one, it's like, I'm going to copy this monster, I'm going to put it over there, and now you fight the monster. I think it's genius.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play this game. And I love the art style.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to play it. I played Link's Awakening, the remake,
Mm-hmm.
for like 2 hours. I'm too dumb to play that game. What am I?
Bad at games.
I'm bad at video games.
He's bad at video games. This is true.
But I think that was a great showing, and people have been wanting to play Zelda forever.
Yeah.
And now you finally can.
Yep.
So I'm glad this was finally announced. I think it looks really cool, but I'm probably not gonna play it.
Sure.
It'll probably also be $70.
Yeah.
Which is just another reason. But yeah, super cool. Another game that I doubt I'll play, but I think looks really cool, and I think it's another thing people have been waiting for, is another Mario and Luigi game.
Yeah.
Brothership. Obviously, it's Mario, so it's like way up there on their flagship of games.
Yeah, it's
Um,
a tent pole.
When I don't
IP for
remember
them.
when the last Mario and Luigi game came out.
Been a hot minute.
And then they're also doing Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I think it's like the third or fourth time they've released this game, which is very Nintendo. But hey, if people are excited for it again, so they can play it on their Switch now, you know what? I'm happy for you. But like that's 3 games there that I'm probably not gonna play.
Yeah.
But there's one they announced that I am gonna play.
The
You know what?
Lego Horizon Adventures.
That's right, baby. Horizon and Lego on Switch. A PlayStation game on Switch. I will buy this just for the sake of letting PlayStation know that they don't need to only release their games on PlayStation. No, I probably won't play that unless it goes on a Switch sale or something.
Yeah.
It
Get a
did look super
discount.
fun.
It does, yeah.
Lego games are like always great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also curious what the story will be. And is it canon to the Horizon universe?
Absolutely not. The Lego games are never canon to anything.
I mean, you never know.
The Jurassic
It's
World,
a sci-fi universe.
The Jurassic Park Lego game is just like all of the movies crammed into one game.
And then they somebody creates some weird dinosaur, and then somebody's gonna be like, we're gonna put that in the Scarlett Johansson one.
Absolutely.
Like that dinosaur.
Absolutely. So here's my other guess. Tales of the Shire.
Yeah.
Little Hobbit game.
Yeah. How'd you know? No.
Oh.
I didn't even. I don't even remember that.
Left a real positive impression.
Hello, Kitty Island. Let's go.
What?
I'll say this about Nintendo.
Yeah.
Their spectrum of audience is insane.
Yes.
But it's crazy because I feel like so many of their games, a person that's on the outside would be like, oh, that looks like a kid's game. But you know what? That kid's game is a Zelda game.
Right.
Can also be like a very dark and violent game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Nintendo fan base, or player base, I should say, is so vast and wide.
Mm-hmm.
From the youngest of children to the oldest of old folks.
I do think they do a really good job at servicing all of those demographics, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one platform that I'm always like, I can go get something for my kid. Like I could just go into their backlog or even their new games and be like, yeah, I'm sure I could find something for Claire here.
Yeah.
And I don't always feel like I can do that with Xbox and PlayStation.
You can't
Like-
you can't play Suika on the Xbox. You can play it on PC or Switch.
Or
baby.
Switch.
Yeah. There's my comfort game. If I'm in a bad mood, I put on Suika and I drop fruit, baby.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
Have you played that?
No.
Dude, it is
Apparently I need to.
it's annoyingly addicting. You just drop it's what's the be like 2048 maybe? Like you drop fruit and the 2 oranges hit each other and it becomes
sure.
a lemon or
Yeah,
something.
a little bigger, but and then you have to get 2 of the lemons together and it makes a
Yeah.
watermelon and I
and
get
you
it.
just try and get a high score. Eventually you fail. If you're me, you fail really quickly. You just start over. But okay. The game I'm actually excited for. All the haters can suck it. When I predicted that we were going to get a Metroid Prime 4 reveal this year, and the announcement that it was coming out in spring 2025. We don't know spring yet, but guess what, folks? We got a Metroid Prime 4 trailer
Yep.
with gameplay.
Yep.
I will add Xbox and PlayStation. And a 2025 release date.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. I'm back on the board. Oh, I'm so excited. This was the greatest surprise. Especially after my little rant last week where I was like, stop, show... I won't call it a rant. I'll call it a tantrum.
Maybe a little bit of a
It
tantrum.
was kind of a tantrum. Whatever a tantrum is without tears.
Mm.
I was upset that all we ever get is Pokemon stuff. And all I want is a Metroid Prime 4 trailer.
And you got it.
I got it. It's finally coming. It's real. Oh, and it looks so awesome. And the fact that, like, they're just like, okay, Retro, just go make it. We took it away from you. Go, now you have it back. Go do your thing.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go, baby. We're back in action. It looks so good. I can't wait.
Yeah, this was definitely the thing that I got most excited about as well. Out of, not watching it live, but it was the first thing I wanted to go look at.
Have you played Metroid Prime?
Yeah. It's been
back in the day.
Back in the day.
If you want to borrow the remaster,
ooh,
I got it, and
right.
It's spicy.
Noise.
It's such a good remaster or remake, whatever they did to it. It's fun. That's such a fantastic game. But yeah, to finally have Nintendo be like, okay, it's real. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is what it's called. It's actually real. It's coming next year. And now people are like, Switch 2? Is this a launch title?
Yeah.
Dude, it would probably convince me to get whatever the Switch 2 is, like, just as fast as I could.
Yeah.
And
I do feel like the Switch is showing its age, at least in terms of loading.
when did the Switch come out? Didn't it come out like 2015? 2016?
I wanted to say
when did
16, maybe 17?
the Switch
I feel like it's like 7 years old.
2017?
17. Yeah, so it is 7 years old.
That feels like a pretty quick turnaround. I don't know why.
Well, they did the upgrade back in like 2021, right? They did the OLED version.
When did... Maybe I'm just... I don't know. I guess maybe I'm thinking of because like Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Slim or whatever it was came out before those, and I'm probably trying to pair it with those where Nintendo's just on their own schedule.
They really are, because even between the Wii...
Yeah, they've had the Series X and the...
Well, they had the Wii U.
5.
Well, they also had the Wii U, though. Nintendo had the Wii U, which was like...
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, okay, but I'm saying...
Even they were like,
oh
what
no!
are we thinking? This sucks!
Like, that console didn't live 7 years.
Tyler's not here to defend his Wii U he had for 3 weeks.
Oh, decisions were made. How unfortunate.
But it's... Man, I can't wait. Metroid Prime 4, bring it on, baby.
Yep. Pretty exciting. Were there any other gaming news stories this week?
I don't have any written down.
Okay, I did say I've not been off grid, but
news is too hard to follow.
It is.
No.
Baroque, where is that dude? I missed the first 20 minutes. He's just not here today. He wasn't feeling 100%, so we gave him the night off.
He has the black lung. He's bedridden.
He's got grayscale. And grayscale is contagious, you know.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of grayscale.
Oh, okay.
I got my COVID vaccine. Same thing, right?
Basically.
Actually, I haven't gotten that.
You haven't got a booster?
I think mine is probably expired.
Ah,
I'll be all right, though.
you'll be fine. You also have asthma. Maybe not.
Does asthma make
Higher
grayscale
red.
worse?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, not grayscale. COVID.
Oh, no. No, I'll be fine. I've had asthma my whole life. I'll be all right. I don't
Okay,
have
cool.
severe asthma.
I love how we're qualifying this now. It's fine. You mentioned Jurassic World earlier. Scarlett Johansson signed on
They gotta get a new subtitle for the new trilogy, man. Jurassic Yard.
Yard. Oh, perfect. We went like bigger, and then we're bringing it back.
Well, I was thinking like a prison yard. The dinosaurs.
Ooh.
You know, like it's a zoo. They're enclosed.
Yeah.
Maybe they view it as a prison, and it's actually a Stomp the Yard.
Like a.
Like it's combining.
Is it a re?
We're gonna combine.
To remake sequel, a requel.
We're gonna combine Stomp the Yard with what's the movie where they play football in prison?
The Longest Yard.
The Longest Yard, yeah. We're gonna combine those, except it's Jurassic Yard and it's dinosaurs in prison. dancing and playing football. It's
Yeah.
the best movie I've
I love
ever
it.
created.
Baroque's pitch is Jurassic Galaxy. If we're going to expand, bring in. I could see like let's bring in James Gunn. Have him do like a Guardians of the Galaxy-esque thing with dinosaurs.
Or Eli Roth.
Or Eli Roth.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
why
just
not?
ripping off Guardians of the Galaxy from
Absolutely.
Borderlands. So.
Absolutely. See, it'll be fine.
Jurassic, I guess. Planet.
I mean, world
They
is
should just-
already
they should-
planet.
maybe they should just change the front adjective. Like, I know they have Cretaceous Camp. Maybe they should just do Triassic Park. This is the third trilogy, the Triassic period. We can go into woolly mammoths and the Ice Age stuff. You know, oh, they're developing feathers.
I mean, most definitely,
Mammals are
not
starting
all of
to
those
show up.
dinosaurs are were in the Jurassic period.
But, like, they kind of got into how dinosaurs were mutating in Jurassic World. Even in Jurassic Park.
No, you're not right. You're
It's
not
like,
wrong.
oh,
You're not
they're
wrong.
actually mutating to what they actually were.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, to survive, they had to be this. It's like, oh, so they're developing feathers because they're birds.
I think they just do what they did with the second film in the series, The Lost World. Give it a title, The Lost World, Jurassic World, right? Like Jurassic Park. It's that like
The Lost
A Night-
World, a
A
Knives
Night-
Out story.
yes.
The
Yes.
Lost World, a Mad Max saga. The Lost World, a Star Wars
I
story.
definitely think they'll keep Jurassic World in there unless they go back to Jurassic Park. I don't think they will. I think they've branded that as in like franchise IP-esque things
think-
enough.
Spielberg sees Jurassic World as like how they just call it now, and he's just like, ugh. Jurassic World.
He's probably like, ugh.
Magnus.
And then he gets that check every month. He's like, oh, all right, fine. This is paying for
Oh, yeah.
this is paying for my fourth house, so you know.
I'm gonna make another movie about my mom and dad.
That's right. And that's funding his films. Just like all tour creators have to film their own things these days, like Francis Ford Coppola and Kevin Costner.
Did you see he's like gonna have to pay for all the marketing?
Yeah.
Lionsgate was like, we'll be a
distributor,
but we're not paying for
Oh, Francis Ford Coppola, I'm so sorry.
We'll take all
That
the benefits with another cost.
That movie is not as good as it needs to be if no one's willing to pay for marketing.
I mean, and now you can say that because people have seen it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
I'm still excited. I'll still go see it. But speaking of the other one in that pairing I just talked about, Kevin Costner is officially out at Yellowstone. He has basically said he's done with the drama. I don't know exactly what that means, but sounds like there was
He's more interested in comedy now.
Oh.
I'm
Not
assuming.
yeah, well, if it's not, it's the opposite
I mean,
of
there's
drama.
only two types of movies: drama or comedy.
I'd like to.
Both,
I'd
so
like to see him go into horror. Actually,
maybe that's what Horizon is.
oh, there we go. But yeah, he's got his
Is it
Horizon
actually a prequel to
film
Bone Tomahawk or
coming
whatever it was?
out. Dances with Wolves.
No, Bone Tomahawk. Isn't that the horror western?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it is. I haven't seen it, and I've wanted to, but there's nowhere to watch it. Last time I checked.
Darn. Well, let's go check out that last operating Blockbuster in Portland, Oregon, or whatever.
Or just
Maybe they'll have it.
PirateBay.com or something.
Oh. That wouldn't end poorly.
I mean, Amazon video rentals.
Kevin Costner stars in and directs Zombies of the Wild West. I'm down.
1 star on Letterboxd. Don't even need to see it.
But yeah, not a ton of news this week. Like I said, Inside Out 2, killing it. I think it's nearing 800, 700. So this is as of this morning. It has a global
This morning,
Monday,
the
June
24th.
24th. It has a global revenue of 725 million. So that's gonna hit $1 billion very quickly.
You know, some movie had to do it. One movie always has to hit $1 billion.
Yeah.
But usually it's a movie that you're like, huh?
Huh?
Like last year there was two. It was Mario
Yeah.
and Barbie. And
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. Didn't it hit $1 billion? Or did it hit 999 million?
I'm not actually sure if it. I don't think it hit $1 billion.
Still, the movie's R-rated, so
It did incredibly well for being what it was.
Rated R inflation.
An
you kinda
R
boost it
an
up a bit.
R-rated 3-hour biopic. That's not gonna make that much money, and then it did. So good job. So yeah, good job Inside Out too.
I've got 3 stories.
Ooh.
I'll start with the sad one.
Oh.
Donald Sutherland died.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was 88. I don't know if this is bad or not, but this is just what I always think about when Donald Sutherland comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the Italian Job remake. Is that bad? He's in that movie for like 10 minutes.
I don't know if it's great. But
I really like that movie though, and I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
no. I mean,
But I don't know why. That's the movie I always think of.
I don't think the movie. To be clear, I don't think the movie is bad, and I just think it's like that's an interesting choice for.
I don't know why.
The first thing to remember him by, which is, but look, it's fine. We all have our own things that we connect people to. So no,
And, I mean, most people are like, "Oh, President Snow over the Hunger Games," and I'm over here going, "Is Charlie Theron's dad in the Italian Job remake?" Now I want to watch the Italian Job. That's probably, I don't know if it's bad enough to be considered a guilty pleasure. But I really do enjoy that movie, mainly because of the Spider-Man random thing in the middle. Have you ever seen that? Noticed that?
I've never noticed that.
You've never noticed Spider-Man in the Italian Job? It's one of those blink and you'll miss it
I was gonna say
cameos.
clearly I
It's like
haven't been
the
on
gorilla walking across the people tossing black and white balls.
right, and you just don't see the
Optical
gorilla.
illusion- Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a moment in the movie. It's when the street blows up and the truck falls through.
Uh-huh.
There's just a moment where you see Spider-Man right in the middle of frame, like clear as day. If you pay attention, once you see it, you never miss it.
That's
and it's
hilarious.
just a dude in this like Spider-Man outfit, fully covered, good-looking costume, maybe kind of, and he's just like, "Whoa!" And then it goes to the next scene, and it's Edward Norton going like, "Where's my truck?" Yeah. So if you want to see Spider-Man in the Italian Job,
Now I know. Now you know.
But yeah, rest in peace, Donald Sutherland.
R.I.P.
Yep.
R.I.P.
The next story I have, and this is another thing I've just been waiting for forever, and now it's the perfect time. Now that Star Wars is, honestly, it's just kind of a mess. Everywhere. Spaceballs 2 was announced.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Josh Gad signed on to be in it, and Mel Brooks is producing it.
Well, look, as long as Mel Brooks is producing it,
Yeah.
I'm more or less okay with it.
Yep. And he just made History of the World
Part 2
for Hulu. I don't wonder if part of like the reason he made that was like, hey, like I'm still into making stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Spaceballs 2 is something he always, like, it was a joke in the movie, like, oh, Spaceballs 2, the search for more money.
If it's not named that.
Oh, it's gotta.
It's gotta be, right?
It's gotta be that. If it's not, the movie will not be good. Like, that's a big red flag. But I'm very, very excited for this. What it will be. Will it be good?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, please be good.
Please be good.
Thankfully, I'll always have the original Spaceballs. There's so much you can make fun of though with Star Wars though. The recent movies and shows are so all over the place in quality.
Well,
There's so much you can poke fun at, and you have the prequels.
you've
to
got
make fun of.
you've got prequels to
And
make
you
fun
can
of.
make fun of the fans even more now.
I was gonna
because we're
say
even
you can
more all over
talk
the
about
place.
the discourse and the
Discourse?
there's commentary to be had there for sure.
No discourse. There's no Star Wars. Okay, yeah, there is.
Yeah. What's your third story?
What is my third story? Oh, it's a Star Wars.
Oh,
Actual Star Wars. Ben Mendelsohn is returning for Andor Season 2.
let's go.
This is the best thing that could have happened for Star Wars. We got an actor that everybody loves. I think in a character that everybody loved.
Yeah.
Who was great.
Good. Yeah.
In a movie that I think most people consider one of the best out of the Disney era. If not the best. I know it's a lot of people's favorite Star Wars.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were like, I like this when it came out, and I think a lot of people have even gone to I love this.
I think I'm the most negative person I've met about that movie.
Yeah.
And I really like it.
Yeah.
I just have my problems with
Sure.
the middle. But yeah, he's returning as Krennic for Andor Season 2. This is awesome news.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have him back. I'll never say no to Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah. Agreed.
Even though what was that other Disney show he did? It was horrible.
Did I watch it?
He died in it. Yeah, you watched it. We all hated it.
Then I don't remember it.
The Marvel. Marvel.
I've ejected it from my brain.
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. That's right.
The show that it will never be referenced again because it was so bad and it made no sense.
We've already all forgotten about it.
Dude, that movie was so bad. The show was so bad.
It was rough.
Just garbage all the way through. Can't even believe it. Yeah, they killed him off in that. They're like, oh, sorry, do you want to come back in this one? We'll pay you double. Sorry about that.
My bad.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Krennic back. Awesome. Love it.
Yep. So I mentioned earlier we'd be talking a little bit about DC, and we've talked about some of the things. But starting today, set photos have started leaking on the new Superman film.
Superman.
With David Cornsweet. Cornsweet.
Let's call him
Dave. Yeah, we get a pretty good look at him in the suit, Superman suit. Mr. Terrific, who is also in the film, and then Lois Lane.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, I have it right here.
Don't show me.
Okay. She looks good.
Well, I mean, it's a Rachel Brosnahan. I know she looks good. Yeah, I saw the pictures and I was like, cool. That's awesome. And then it's the only thing I've seen the rest of the day. And I'm so tired of it.
The
it's
feed,
like,
the algorithm just like, Luke looked at this for like 2 seconds longer than he usually does. Let's give it to him more.
Well, Tyler sent it in the chat. And what I've noticed is if somebody sends something in the chat, I see it for the next week.
Oh, interesting. I don't ever send anything in the chat.
If I send it, I see that account
Mm-hmm.
for the week. And then I usually have to mute it, and it's like, okay, I liked one thing from you. I don't like everything you say.
Right,
but
right.
Like, all I've seen on my Twitter feed now is David Cornsweet, and I don't remember his name. The dude who's playing Mr. Terrific, and it's just like, I'm gonna mute everything that has to do with Superman now, because you know what? I just want to watch the movie.
Yeah.
If James Gunn wants to show me something, he can show me.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't typically have a huge problem with seeing on-set photos and being like, that's too much. But again, my feed isn't as aggressive in
I don't mind
so
seeing it, but it's like it's just too much.
My phone, Baroque says, my phone hears my supervisor speak in Spanish, so now I get Spanish ads on Twitter. Oh, that's amazing.
They do be listening.
That is amazing, and I love it.
They do be listening.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Suits do look great, though. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
They both looked awesome.
Yeah, they do. Luke, did you say you had a fan box question for us today? Or are you just saving that for when Tyler's back?
Well, I had the one we were talking about earlier.
And I've already forgotten it.
You're
going to have to reintroduce me. Oh yeah.
We can wait until Tyler's back with that, or do you want to do it now?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Let's wait till Tyler's
We'll wait till
back,
Tyler's
I
back. That's
guess.
fine. That's fine.
And then if it will probably still be relevant because
Absolutely.
The Acolyte will still be airing.
Fair enough.
So it's going to be a topic until
the day
next
we
thing
die.
that comes out.
Oh. I was gonna say forever and ever and
maybe it
ever.
won't.
Hey,
If
if
they
we
listen to our
if we solve it, it won't be a problem. Okay,
We can talk about it
we can.
another week when Tyler's here. 'Cause
We
I think-
can. So we've kind of both reviewed the big thing we did this week, but like, was there anything else you did that you want to talk about? Weekly update type stuff? Anything worth mentioning?
Well, I talked about episodes 1 to 3 of The Acolyte last week,
Mhm.
and then you had to bail.
I did. I zipped out. And now we have a fourth.
There's 4 episodes now, and it was the worst one, I would say. I think the show is really bad.
So Luke's level here is kind of like middle of the road, up a little bit, and then down, like bad for you.
It was never middle of the road.
Okay, so
It was-
bad,
it was
bad,
bad.
slightly better, and then but still bad, and then bad.
Bad, not as bad, worse.
Okay,
Like
all
the
right.
worst.
The worst.
I also want to reemphasize again, like, the discourse around the show is really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Just like review bombing stuff just because you think a show is trying to be woke is so annoying. Just let people make the show they want to do and cast the people they want to cast, and let's judge the story and the art they create. Everything else doesn't matter, but also it kind of does. It is important.
But still, after what I'm hearing is we're halfway through the season,
We're halfway through the season.
and
I feel like
and it
nothing
really has
interesting
nothing
gone on.
been hitting for you.
I think the acting is bad. I think the story is it could be interesting if it was done better. I think the action has been extremely subpar because there's been one action scene, which is the opening scene of the entire show. And then in the last episode, just the way it's paced and the way they ended it was just like, who's making this? I just didn't understand the decisions they were making for the entire episode.
Yeah.
I think it's bad filmmaking.
Episode 4 is definitely the thus far the bottom of the barrel for me. I would agree with that. I think that it was weird going from a like you look at the season and how it's being paced. Like the first 2 episodes feel about right in terms of what you're trying to introduce, right? Like you're introducing the world. And so you have like an action scene to get people excited, and then your characters here and there. And I think they do that reveal very early on about them being the sister stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think they do that in a way that's really compelling. I don't know why you set it up seemingly as a mystery if you're just going to reveal it in that manner. But then, episode 3, I don't know if I liked it more than episode 2 or 1. I know 1 and 2 kind of blur together for me at this point.
I thought episode 3 did interesting stuff, just with like, hey, these people have the Force, but they view it differently. And because they're way out here, it's different to them the way they just view it. They're witches. It's the exact same as the Night Sisters, where they use this green magic. It's the Force. Yeah. But they have the thread, is what they call it. Like, I was like, cool.
It's a cool concept, and I think it's a interesting thing, and it's.
I thought it was cool also that it's like a Amazonian Wonder Woman style.
Oh sure.
Coven type thing out here.
Which is Coven.
Which is, you know what? That's something that also really annoyed me. Mm-hmm. Like, people are like, why are these just women out here doing the thing? It's like, do you like the character Wonder Woman? It's the same thing.
They probably don't.
And she was just created out of clay originally. That's how she was made.
It's magic. It's space magic.
The twins are Wonder Woman in the Star Wars universe. It's not that big of a deal.
There's also explosions in space and fire in space. That's just Star Wars.
They've gotten that wrong every chance they get.
Yep. But they
It's just different every time. So you just like that's the stuff you got to ignore.
Point being, for
But,
me at least, in
yeah.
terms of this, like I feel like that could have been a better bottle episode than it was. Premise great. I think the writing and the acting wasn't great. Wasn't good enough to carry that premise through, especially when you have, because sometimes you can have maybe not so great. This feels like it's shot in the volume, right? So like you can maybe get away with some of that if you've got really compelling actors telling a really compelling story. You still might rub you the wrong way, but you could forgive that.
Mando season 1.
Yeah.
And 2.
And 2 for sure. But it just didn't hit, and and then that led, for me, that was like a bit of a stumble, and then it led into episode 4, which brings you back to quote unquote present day, and just
Can we just
what.
Can we just talk about how she discovers her sister has been alive this entire time? It's just like, I'm gonna go. This is your problem. I know it's my sister, but I don't want to deal with this, so I'm gonna go. And like, whatever the girl with the horns, her name is,
Yeah.
X-23. She's just like, okay, bye.
These feel like the most nonchalant Jedi about the fact that there's like some evil order hunting them down.
And like this is also a problem I have with the show. Like people have been complaining about the Jedi and that they're like dicks. And it's like kind of always been that.
Yeah, no, that's actually very on brand.
But like when they first announced the show and they're like, it's 100 years before, and I was like, that's not far enough.
Yeah.
This is why. It connects too much to the prequels. It's too soon. It should have been 800, and then guess what? You can do whatever you want. You're far enough in the past that things can just happen. And they can be forgotten.
I do think it's going to do a direct tie-in to the prequels in some way. It just seems like it's a very Lucas
It's a very Disney Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
thing.
2014 on Lucasfilm thing to do.
I mean, everybody was freaking out because Kitty Mundi was there, and whose Wikipedia birthday has now been changed. Okay, I don't really care. You had to see this coming. Come on, people.
So, I'm not hating this show. It's kind of been background. Like I watch it, I'll sit down and I'll watch it, and
Fold laundry.
Yeah, kinda. It's the problem is two nights before I get to watch an episode of Game of Thrones, or excuse me, House of the Dragon, and
yeah, get it right.
Oh my bad. And like the quality difference is just, and I'm not saying every show has to be that quality. We couldn't afford it. But it is just a little bit like, okay, I'm not sure how much I care about this. But I'll hop along for the ride. I don't know. I'm just not letting it bother me. It's fine. I'm so hyped for Andor season 2, man. Like it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a hard. Oh yeah, no. I'm gonna be patient for sure.
I allow myself to be bothered by it for like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. And then only when we bring it back up again on the pod.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to sit here and just talk about something non-emotional?
Look, I listened for like 3 years. The thing in Star Wars I love the most, everyone in the world shit on. So.
And what did I do though? I stopped caring.
You stopped caring.
I was like, you know what?
And I think
Brett loves it. I don't care. People love the Acolyte.
Thanks.
I don't care.
Thanks.
People love stuff in the prequels, like all of it, and it's like, okay, don't care.
Yeah. I've also come to realize, maybe not come to, like, it's a sudden thing. Just over time, how I view a piece of a film. We'll just go be simple here. Like how I appreciate a film changes over time, and that's okay too.
Yeah,
Like I might
definitely.
not like this now, and I might like it later, or there's something that I like when it first comes out. Like I think I do have there we the cycle, right, of like, this was the worst thing ever. Oh, it was underappreciated. Oh, it's the best thing ever.
You know what?
Like
Sometimes
that cycle is kind of real, and so I just try to not be quite so
I think it helps.
hyperbolic with it. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh no, this was good, or oh, I didn't like this, and then oh, like it's all right, and then it's like, oh, I can appreciate this, and
Hmm.
I just have the smaller circle.
I think it helps too when you end up liking something that everybody hates,
Yeah. Oh,
and you're
for
just
sure.
like, I'm not gonna talk so much crap on the stuff that everybody else hates anymore.
Absolutely. Perspective. Build some perspective. But yeah.
From a certain point of view.
Luke, what'd you think of House of the Dragon season episode 2?
Dude, House of the Dragon season 2 has been really good. Obviously, we talked about episode 1
Yep.
last week. Episode 2 starts off super sad, and then no offense to the outcome of what happened to those characters, but I thought the ending was even sadder because of what goes down. It's like, no, don't do this to me, man. No.
Yeah.
I didn't know who was who. I'm just like, I don't care. I don't want this to happen.
Yeah, they've done a really good job in pacing these first 2 episodes of giving us, I think, we may have talked about this last week, how they've kind of figured out what an episode needs to do, to kind of give you that catharsis, about, midpoint, but then they introduce something new that they can kind of hit you with gut punch you
Yeah.
at the very end and make you want more.
Mhm.
Make you want to come back and get more. It to go back 5 minutes here. The Acolyte does something at the end of episode 4, which is supposed to feel like a cliffhanger, but because there's no catharsis in the middle of that episode and it's paced really poorly, it just feels like that should be the midpoint of the episode.
I was expecting commercials in the Acolyte, and I got credits instead. And it was just like,
Yeah.
you've got to be kidding
Yeah,
me.
it cuts to black, and you're like, oh no, this is
Oh.
halfway through this episode. So
It also helps when you just don't make episodes that are only 30 minutes long.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think this episode of House of the Dragon was
70
like
minutes.
an hour. Yeah, an hour
It was really
9.
long.
It was
I liked that.
it was lengthy,
It's like, hey, let's give our characters
beefy.
moments to breathe and communicate and talk and figure things out and react instead of just, we're walking through the woods. We're here. We're done.
And I really like what they've done. No spoilers here, but I really like what they're doing with Matt Smith's character, Damon. He is so fascinating to me, because they've definitely pitched him as, at least at the end of season 1, right? Like he is gonna be this loyal, maybe a bit of a war dog, right? But like, and already here in the first 2 episodes, we're questioning that. What are his real motives? And I just think he's a really interesting character because of the complexity he has with the Iron Throne and power and
And Game of Thrones universe is I feel like the one of probably a couple shows where you can actually question
oh yeah,
what's going to happen.
yeah,
Because if this was a more traditional show, you'd be like, oh yeah, he's going to do this, but he'll be back.
right,
And he'll come in and save the day.
yep,
And it might be a heroic sacrifice or something.
yeah.
But this is that's not good
This
for
is
these
not
characters.
good. And if you are at all aware of, do you know what happens?
In the universe,
Like with
In-
this story?
no.
like how anything ends and when
Dude,
it
I
ends.
don't read
Okay,
books.
well, I don't read books either, but
I don't like to Google stuff and have it spoiled.
well,
either.
I don't particularly either. But just when things are taking place, it's like, oh, okay, so that's gonna be interesting because of this isn't gonna be an 8-season show.
Mhm.
This is probably gonna be
This is what I assume.
this is like a 3 or 4 season show probably.
This is what I assume happens. Somebody, one of the other houses, is gonna show up, and they're gonna be like, "I'm Billy Bob Targaryen," and they're gonna have their hair dyed silver,
Mhm.
and they're going to trick any of the many Targaryen people, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, great, let's have a baby," and then none of it's really gonna matter. It's just gonna be somebody. It's gonna be Glenn Powell from.
Of course.
In a silver wig.
Get Clint Powell
No,
in
no,
here.
no. No, I don't know. I don't know what goes on, but I'm very curious what will happen.
Yeah.
I think the super interesting thing about this episode was how all the characters kind of have the same story, and it felt like the theme for the last 2 episodes has been one person's vengeance doesn't help everybody.
Yeah.
Because something bad happens and one person goes, I'm going to do something about this, and something worse happens. So one person goes, I'm going to do something about this, and it makes things worse. So one person goes, I'm going to do something about this, and makes things worse. And it's like, oh, maybe selfishness isn't the best tactic, you ding dong.
Yeah, revenge rarely
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
revenge is just not the answer.
Heard.
Revenge won't. Yeah, there's a line in here where it's like when princes squabble, it's the poor folk who suffer, right? And like, I think that's, if the powerful people in the world at this point are, like, if their themes are revolving around grief, and then there's like the middlemen that are doing all this like revenge and selfishness, because they don't know how to really help, actually,
Because they either have a blind view
yeah
of how it will help, or it's selfishness in themselves. Like, oh, if I help them, it helps me
it helps
because
me.
I'm going to be the hero
Yeah.
to them. In reality, they're just making things worse.
yeah and then there's the poor people who are wailing,
Hanging from the rafters.
yeah, I was gonna say crying over fathers and sons.
Dude.
Or
Sorry, that was the best scene in the episode, though. Not the hanging, but like after that.
so
when-
good.
It's the only time I've really ever liked Otto Hightower.
Yeah.
Where he's just talking to Aegon and Kristen Cole, and he's just like, it's like, this is the dumbest prank I've ever seen anybody do. And like, to just call it a prank was just like, ooh, that was mean.
Yeah.
That was a great scene, dude.
I did love how the gloves came off there for a moment, and I hope we get to see a little more of that before he inevitably gets strung up by his grandson.
We've been losing a lot of important, I'll call them important, characters that just don't have a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
And it's like they've all been very meaningful when characters are dying. But I feel like we're starting to get into the parts now where it's like the players are gonna start taking some hits.
The chessboard.
The C team has been taking some hits, and now the B team, I think they should be worried.
Absolutely.
A team,
mostly safe.
mostly safe. Maybe
for
one
now.
is a shock value moment in the season.
Yeah, I could see that.
But B team, I would be worried.
Yeah.
I would be worried. If your second billing squad, please hang up your wig and cape or dress.
Oh, so
Please
good.
leave the island.
So good. Can't wait to see more.
It's
of
been
that.
really good. Yeah,
It is.
It's a great show
It's gonna get me through the summer.
for 6 more
6
weeks.
more weeks. That's close enough. That gets me into
But here's the
Early
best
August?
news though. I'm pretty sure The Bear comes out this Wednesday,
It does.
which means you can binge watch 3 seasons of The Bear. You can laugh, cry, and have tons
Sure,
of anxiety.
I'm not sure I'm in the. I have the
Dude,
time
I'm
to
so
do that.
excited. I know what I'm doing this
Oh,
weekend. If
my
it
gosh.
actually, I thought I saw it's dropping this Wednesday. And if it drops this Wednesday, I'm going to watch like one episode.
I need to
tonight.
show you my schedule for
Thursday
the
night.
next week, and
I'm going crazy
you
on Saturday.
just
with
tell
The
me
Bear.
exactly when I can
I'm going to
find
be a
time to watch
mess
this.
next week.
I can't wait to hear about how much of a mess you are. Honestly.
I'm a mess every
So.
week. I just hide it better.
I really haven't done much other than watching those 2 shows. Luke, anything else that you want to add to your weekly update?
Just, back on the Destiny 2 grind. Actually, something
Yeah, I've been off for most of this last week. I need to get back on.
I didn't play it because what am I?
Bad at games.
I'm bad at video games. That's right.
Video games.
You know what? I am bad at games. That's actually pretty good. Here's something about Luke. I don't like board games. The only I'd say board game I'd play is a tabletop game, which is D&D.
Yeah.
I don't like board games because usually you have that one ultra competitive person that loves board games, and I think it ruins it for everybody else. But I've been watching people play the Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC for Elden Ring, and it's like I didn't really enjoy that game because I'm bad at video games and it was really hard, so like I'm just not gonna enjoy it. But it has been a lot of fun to watch people just rage through that DLC, man. And then like when they beat somebody and they just like, yeah, let's go. Like I even get a little excited. It's like, man, how did you even do that? I can't even follow what's going on. But it's putting like this spark in me to go back into Armored Core 6, which I never beat.
Oh yeah,
because it's hard and I'm bad at video games. And then also the main thing that I'm like, I should update it and keep playing it is Remnant 2, which is on Game Pass. You should. Do you have Game Pass?
I don't have Game Pass right now.
If you
I know I'm the worst.
want to play that, I would honestly like put down Destiny for like 2 or 3 weeks to just grind that with anybody who wants to play it, because that game is so awesome.
Nice.
I think you would really like it. And plus Tyler has it too, so we could go threesies.
It's a multiplayer game, so I'm more likely to play it.
That's right.
It's a good
But
bet.
it's a story-driven multiplayer game. There's no PvP.
Hey, you know how much Destiny PvP I've played? 0.
I mean, you've only played like 15 hours of Destiny in the past year, so.
But the new expansion. I've played the entire campaign.
Yeah,
I've done some of the exotic quests. I have played with people, but not the PvP part.
I mean, I've played one game of PvP. Okay.
I saw it on my little seasonal challenge tracker thing. And I was like,
I need to complain
not
about
worth
the
it right
Destiny
now.
community for a little
Not
bit.
worth it right now.
Because this happens every time there's a release and new stuff comes out.
Yeah.
Like new aspects, fragments, or subclasses.
People complain about Titans again.
No. Well, kind of. No, people complain about PvP. They're like, how come PvP is still in the state? It's like, just enjoy the new thing.
Yeah.
It's like maybe it takes a little time for the community to put in some input into their systems, and they can go, oh, this doesn't work well.
Yeah.
Let's fix it. Then maybe they can fix it.
Well, I feel
Instead,
like-
it's been like a week, and they're going, oh, why does this grenade do this, and why doesn't my Gear 3 auto rifle 3 tap? I don't know. Like,
Didn't they get new? They got new maps in
yeah, for
Into the Light and stuff.
They're
So
really good too, man. They're
so
all
like
fantastic.
there's kind of like a mid, pre-expansion update, I suppose, and then I don't know. I'm trying to see the silver lining, which I know no one actually wants to do.
It's like, can we just enjoy the new stuff?
No.
Like, I know there's the PvP people out there, but come on, like, we're still out here just trying to finish quests.
There's still a lot to do in that game. So.
There's always stuff to do it. which is why I grind it all the time, baby.
Truth.
I just have fun shooting stuff.
So true. So truth. So much truth.
People are complaining about Titans though because Titans are not as good as the other classes right now. So I don't know if you saw the stats from the raid. Did you see this?
2 Titans.
3 out of the top 50 teams, which is 300 people.
Yeah.
3 were Titans.
So 1%. That's rough.
And I feel like I can agree kind of. I did finish the campaign on my other characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I could unlock Prismatic. There's just so much more synergy on those classes. I played as your Warlock for a bit.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
It is.
You can do so much stuff, and there's like, it feels like there's multiple options. I can do this, or this.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter's insane.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. It's easily the best. Their Transcendence Grenade, I think, is interesting. Titans definitely won in that department. I think they have the best Transcendent Grenade. But Titans are like, they have one build.
Yeah.
And like,
they need
sure,
more.
I'm in the strike playlist. I can use this, but it's like, if I'm going to do something that requires me to like play well,
Yeah.
I have to use this or my old subclasses.
Yeah.
It's like, so Bungie's looking at Titans. They actually confirmed it. They're like, ooh.
Now that Dylan's back.
Yeah, baby, DMG's back. Everything's
all gonna be good.
Fine.
Everything's fine. Well, cool. All right. I think that's gonna bring us to the end of this episode.
Dude, now I'm just thinking about Remnant though.
Lou's gonna take a Destiny break to play Remnant.
Dude,
crazy.
If you get Game Pass and download it, I will. You too, Tyler. Let's play more Remnant 2.
I'd be down at some point.
That game.
Not this week. Because I won't have time.
I want to look at my rankings from that year it came out. I think it was my number 2 game. Yep. Oh, because Baldur's 3 Baldur's Gate 3 came out.
Yeah.
If Baldur's Gate 3 didn't exist last year, Remnant 2 would have been my game of the year last year. That game was so good. It's the best feeling third-person shooter I've ever played. Which I feel like coming from me. I was
going to say, that is high praise because you're not a...
I don't like playing in third person when I'm
you
playing a
don't.
shooter. Unless it's like an action game. Like Uncharted, where it's like, it doesn't really matter.
Right, it's on rails.
But like the shooting matters in that game, and it's like, oh, this feels good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that game.
Nice.
I'm going to update it when I get home. Maybe I'll buy the DLCs.
All right. Well, hey, we are going to hop on out of here. We'll see you next week. Hopefully Tyler will be back.
If he's not,
we'll go to him. We'll just go mobile.
That's right, baby. We're wearing masks and hazmat suits.
Tyler, what'd you think about it? Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That was a less abrupt ending than last week's. In fact, we're going long this week.